Welcome to the class, and if you would like to have your knees bent, to have a little bit more space for your pelvis to be settled on the mat, you're more than welcome. Make sure that you set in the back of your head in the way that your neck is in neutral position as well. Allowing the spine to find the natural curves on their horizontal surface of the mat, of the floor. And let us take a couple of long exhales, so we might be a little bit tense when we start the practice. So with the couple of long exhales, let's relax the body, let's bring the mind to the mat, as well as use those couple of moments to connect to the body and scan in terms of how you feel this morning. Maybe you feel some tension here and there, maybe that's tension from the sleep, maybe that's tension from the activities you were involved yesterday. Then we'll continue with the diaphragmatic breathing. You're welcome to set your hands maybe on the bottom of your rib cage. If you like to, you can have one hand on the chest, one hand on the belly as well. And as you take in the breath in, connect to the expansion of the rib cage, expansion of your diaphragm on the bottom of the rib cage, as well as to the sides and to the back of your mat. And then on exhale, connect to the shrinking effect, relax your abdomen area. So through this breathing, through this diaphragmatic breath, I would invite you to connect to the midsection of your body. And imagine like a corset that you have around your waist area. So all that will be considered the core. So not just the abdomen muscles, but all this consider as a core. And this week I was introduced to another nice cue. Imagine the core as the pop can. So just visualize the emptiness of the pop can and the shape of it. So you would like to keep it really solid to support the spine that is situated inside. And we will start the practice today with a bit of an activation of the core muscles, and we'll start with a dead bug. So let us lift to the heels. Set your knees above the hips. You can have your heels a little bit higher. You can have the heels aligned with the knees, but definitely you don't want to drop your heels down. So somewhere here, and even without adding the arms and without adding the movement, you right away feel the engagement of the lower abdomen area. And in this position, what is important is to press your lower back down to the floor. So embrace the core and press the lower back down. And if you're able, add your arms here, keeping the shoulder blades down to the floor. And let's just hold still to start with. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's rest. So if you find in at any point that your lower back is arching, that's where you need to rest, reset, and then continue. Let's have another static hold. So again, let's lift to the heels, so knees above the hips, so make sure the knees are not moving closer. Get them 90 degrees. You can have your heels a little bit higher or parallel. Keep your arms up. Pull the abdomen in. So really try to keep the solid corset around your section. Keep your lower back flat, shoulders relaxed, and facial muscles relaxed. And notice if you're breathing normally. And let's hold 4 or 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's rest. And then let us take the arms into wide position. Drop the knees from side to side, so maybe a little bit tension on the lower back from the dead bug. Release it. And we have one more set of dead bug, but this time we're going to move the legs and arms. So let us get into the position. 90-degree knees, flex feet, arms up, and let us extend the right leg, flex foot, and extend the left arm overhead. Maintain your flat back, and then come back to the center. Make sure that the knees are not collapsing here. Let's extend the left leg and the right arm. Hold. Pull the belly in. Press the lower back down. Return back to the center. We have 2 more to repeat each leg. Right leg, left arm. Control. Hold. And come back. And then change. So this knee is not coming to the chest. It's 90-degree. Come back. Last time. Reset if you need. Right leg, left arm. And return back. And left leg, right arm. And return back. Hold here. And then release. Let's again bring the arms in T position. Keep your feet maybe wide on the edges of the mat. And drop them from side to side. Again, to relax this area of the lower back. And then let us set the feet. So not as close to the hips, a little bit away. And again, set your pelvis in a bit of the tilt position so you feel that your lower back is down to the floor. Bring your hands behind the back of the head and let's lift the head. Look on your belly. So we're going to be holding that static. So I want you to try to lift your shoulder blades as high as possible. Pulling the belly in. Look to your belly. Hold 4 or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's rest. Exhale. Take a breath. So you start feeling burning now, not just on the lower abdomen, but this time a little bit more on the upper abdomen. So activating those muscles on the frontal abdomen area. So let us do it again. So first, before you're trying to lift the head and shoulder blades, pull the belly button in, press the lower back down, and then lift your shoulder blades. You can help with the hands to keep your head and neck long. Look on your belly, pull the belly in, holding 4 or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's rest. Take a breath and we'll have one more like that. So again, when you're ready, so start slightly pelvic tilt. So start with lifting the pubic bone up, pressing the lower back down, and then lift your shoulder blades off the floor. Bring the hands behind the head and hold 4 or 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's rest. Exhale. So we have a little bit of variation of that. We will be trying to reach toward the heel with one arm. I'm usually holding my head because my neck doesn't like this position, and then reach to the left. So we'll be changing and going from side to side 5 times. So when you're ready, let's pull the belly in, lift the head off the floor, hold the head with the left hand, release your right arm and try to reach to the right heel, squeeze in the right side of the torso, then change the arm and try to squeeze the left side of the torso, and then change and squeeze on the right, and then change and squeeze on the left. That's 2, squeeze on the right, squeeze on the left, one more time, squeeze on the right and on the left, and last time try to reach to your right heel, squeeze it on the right and squeeze it on the left, come into the center and release. I'm pretty sure you feel a lot of fire on the abdomen area. Let us bring the knees to the chest, rock from side to side, massage your lower back, and let's roll into seated position, and let's come into the child pose. So take your knees wide. So if you had a little bit tension on your lower back, maybe you arch a bit. So let us rest here. Let's stretch the lower back. Bring the forehead down to the floor. Walking your fingers away and allow yourself maybe to rock from side to side here a little bit. Take a breath, elongate through the sides of the body, so we engage them obliques a little bit. So here is a chance to stretch them right away, walking the fingers away. Take another breath, and then let's come into the tabletop position. So set your knees hip distance, set your hands under the shoulders, and let's round the spine. So because you have this a lot of awareness of the abdomen area, so really pull it in, try to press it toward the spine, spine up toward the ceiling. Add some neck stretch, drop the head down, tuck the tailbone under, and then very slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, lift the chin up and come into the cat stretch. From here, keep your movements connected to your breath and go on your own pace. It could be a little bit faster, it could be pretty slow, whatever you feel right for you. So when you come to the cat stretch, you have a possibility to stretch a bit of your abdomen area that we just squeezed in the set of the ab work here. So feeling the movement, feeling how the spine moves with engagement of the muscles of the core, right? So here to flex the spine, you need to engage the abdomen. To extend, you need actually to activate muscles of the back to extend the spine. And then come to the neutral position. So here, we're in the position that we were on the mat, but now the torso is off the floor and you know what's happening. We're going to tuck the toes and we'll lift the knees off the floor to hold the static position. Make sure that you're not squeezing your shoulder blades. You want to press the floor and puff the space between the shoulder blades. So you hold in here, it's probably already 5, let's rest. Drop the knees and have a bit of a stretch of the wrist, bringing the palms opposite. We will have a bit of a progression today here. So I want you to go toward the back of your mat, and we will be walking with this beast pose forward. So as you're on the back of your mat, you're pressing your shoulders, you're stabilizing your shoulders, you're tucking the toes, you're lifting the knees off the floor, and then you move your right hand and your left foot, and you're making a small step. And then again, and make sure that your hips are not going not up and down, and then you walk. So this is a bit of a stability exercise. And walk, and walk. So I reach the top of the mat and I'm resting. Dropping my knees down and stretching my wrists. So we will try to walk backward this time. Backward is a little bit tricky in terms of coordination. Try your best. So we are on the front of the mat, pressing the floor. So stabilization of the shoulders is really important here. Tuck your toes, lift your knees just inch off the floor, and this time you move your left foot and right hand back. It's a really small step. And then the other side. And then other side. And your hips are not bouncing. Another side. And other side, well, I have one more step, and I'm on the back of the mat, and I'm resting. Exhale. So I hope you enjoy those steps. And let us press the palms, and today I want to introduce one more movement in this beast pose. We're going to be turning 90 degrees from side to side. So basically in the end you're going to have 180 degrees. So I'll demonstrate. We're going to come here, and then we're going to, with the small steps, we will come 90-degree, and then with the small steps, we're gonna come back. We're gonna rest here in between, then we're gonna lift and go to the other side. It's a very small steps, and then back here. And so today we're gonna do just 90-degree left and right, and that will be enough. In the future, we will extend movement to 180-degree. So come to the center of your mat and set yourself really steady on your shoulders. Tuck your toes, lift your knees off the floor, and start rotating to either side. Doesn't matter which side. Small steps. Smaller steps is better. When you come perpendicular, 90-degree, you start your movement backward. Start your movement backward, hold, and then rest. So when you come back to the center, you're resting, stretching your wrist, and we just have one more move to the other side. So getting a bit of a sense of that for the future progression. So press the shoulders, tuck your toes, lift your knees 1 inch, and walk small steps, come parallel to the mat, and then go back, small steps, and then we have time again to rest. Let's come again to the child pose, stretch your arms and catch your breath. So those stabilization exercises are really important to understand why we actually working on all those crunches and dead bugs, because most important for us is to keep this really solid pop can to maintain the balance of the body in space. And let us just move your forearms forward, drop the belly down, and get your hands maybe a bit wider, whatever feels right for you. Keep your legs a little bit wider. Let us stretch the front of the body. So just to release this tension of the abdomen area. And when we are here, I want you to feel how while you're stretching the front, you're engaging your glutes, you're engaging the legs, so you're not jamming your lower back, you create a support. And then exhale, we'll bring the hands on the sides of the rib cage, tuck the toes, maybe through the tabletop. We come into first downward dog of the practice. So set your feet hip distance, bend your knees as much as you need, bring your head between your arms, keep your spine really long. Pay attention to what's happening in your shoulders, get them stable. Activate your triceps, activate the muscles around the shoulder blades. So don't allow the trapezius to slide toward the ears. Move them wide. And then look forward and walk to the front of the mat. Set your feet hip distance, drop the head down. Feel stretch on the back of the legs, relax the arms, and then let's slowly, vertebra by vertebra, roll up into standing position. So all what we did on the floor is for the standing. So let us have a moment here to connect to this area of the midsection. And it started from the very important muscles of the glutes. In our classes, we're talking about, we're working on them a lot. They are stabilizers. They stabilize the support for the torso. So get your pelvis in neutral position. Have a bit of an activation of the lower abdomen. Stretch the arms toward the floor and try to create this sense of the tall torso reaching up through the ceiling. Keep your feet grounded through the big toe, pinky, and the middle of your heel. Let's, with inhale, lift the arms up, and I want you to flex your palms like you're holding something, like you're holding the ceiling. Slide the shoulder blades slightly down, so activate the upper back, and just keep strengthening this area. Imagine that you need to actually hold your ceiling, and it's from here that you're creating this support. And then we'll hinge from the hips and fold all the way down. Release your arms this time. Drop the head. Allow yourself to feel stretch on the back of the legs. Then let's bring the hands just on the knees or below the knees and lift the torso up. And here again, we're trying to maintain neutral midsection. You can have your hands on the hips. Let us rock from the toes to the heels a couple of times, and then find a position where you equally distributing the weight. You immediately feel that your hamstrings is working. You're not extending, so don't extend your lower back. Feel how you control in this section. And then using the legs from the hips, unfold all the way up, reaching through the tip of the fingers toward the ceiling. Immediately squeeze your glutes, and then exhale, bring the arms on the sides of the hips. Let us do it one more time like that. With inhale, lift the arms up and then flex the palms. So have here a moment to use your standing posture to create the sense of the strength of the midsection. It's started from the legs. Your legs are working a bit. Your glutes are working, lower abdomen working, and you feel the upper back is here, helping your arms to hold this item on your palms, imaginary items. And then hinging from the hips, straight spine. So it feels like you're coming slightly forward and you're coming all the way down. Exhale, drop the head, feel stretch on the back of the legs. Then let's bring the hands on the knees, maybe slightly above, slightly below, depend on your hamstring flexibility. Maintaining here, again, neutral position. Make sure you're not lifting your chin, your neck is neutral. And here, start bring the body weight to the heels this time. Drop the hips a little bit more and coming into the chair pose. Neutral spine, so you're not extending. You're in a neutral spine. It feels like you want to touch the edge of the chair with your seat bones. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press from the heels all the way up. Inhale. And then exhale. Bring the arms on the sides of the hips. Great. So if you're not on the top of the mat, let's step into top of the mat. And we'll add to the sequence a little bit more. So with inhale, lift the arms up. Hold here, strong side of the body. Create the framing. Hinging from the hips. Exhale, folding all the way passively forward. Body weight distributed equally. Then you can touch, actually let's have a blocks. So bring the blocks on the sides of the feet. And then step your left foot back. So you're here with the blocks maybe on the high end even. And before we'll continue, I want you to have a bit of a movement from the front foot. So bring a lot of a weight to your front leg, right leg, and then distribute the weight to the back leg. So come a lot to the front and then go backward and then stop here, finding the back leg supporting. You are bringing just the tip of the fingers on the block. Your torso folded forward. So you're not here, you're folding forward and you're trying to take your belly from the thigh. So to think of the palm distance here. Gaze is down to the floor and let's from here take the arms on the sides of the head, shoulders away from the ears, holding 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the hands on the block, move them just outside of the mat edge, bring the hands to the floor and step into downward dog. Take your time to step into downward dog, set your head between your arms, press the feet down, long spine. So you want to focus on creating neutral spine position. If you need to bend your knees, you bend your knees. Drop the knees down to the floor. So we're coming into the tabletop position just to activate the upper back. So again, press the floor and here you want to have a bit of a tucked tailbone, engage your abdomen and then extend one leg, extend the other leg and find yourself in plank. And when you're holding in a plank, think of pulling your hands and heels together, like embracing here everything on the center of the torso. Then drop the knees and come all the way down. Exhale. Bring your hands to the sides of the ribcage. Have your strong legs. Roll the shoulders back and lift your torso up. You don't need to go high. I want you to activate all the muscles of the back of the body, the posterior chain, to create this spinal extension. Then press the floor, chin to the chest. Maybe come into the cat stretch for the moment, tucking the toes and coming into the downward dog. Exhale. So after the back bend, we want to create the spinal traction. Release any tension on the lower back from the extension. Stepping the right foot to the midline. Stepping the left foot forward. We're going to use the blocks here again. Lift the torso up. I want you to just have a tip of the finger. So I want you to use your legs. And let us again feel the difference from bringing the body weight to the left foot and bringing the body weight to the right foot. Bringing the body weight to the left foot and bring the body weight to the right foot. And then finding how the right leg creates support. Lifting the torso off the thigh. Again, there's a palm distance here between the lower rib and your thigh. And then take your arms on the sides of the head, holding 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's move the blocks again outside of the mat. Place the hands down and step your left foot back into the downward dog. Long spine, head between the arms, very stable shoulders, knees could be bent. This time we'll look forward and right away come to the plank and tuck the tailbone under, engage your glutes, and again think of just embracing your core, pulling the belly in, feeling like you're becoming slightly shorter, but very strong on the midsection. Dropping the knees down to the floor. Exhale, come down. Hands on the sides of the ribcage, strong legs, shoulders back. Lift the chest off the floor. So you feel that you're not really using your hands. They're very lightly touching the mat. Neck is neutral. Then let's press the floor. Maybe come into the cat stretch for the breath. And then come into the downward dog. Exhale. Long spine. Taking the breath and then looking forward and walk into the front of the mat. Setting the feet hip distance, folding forward. Then bring the hands on the knees or thighs. Lift the chest up. Roll the shoulders back. Neutral neck. Our body weight comes to the heels. Take your arms parallel to the floor and hold. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From the heels, press yourself up. Inhale. Let's again flex the palms. Squeeze your glutes. Embrace your core to support the ceiling. Very strong upper back. And then release your arms. Exhale. Taking the breath. We'll have blocks on the mat. And we will practice the pyramid pose next. So stepping your left foot back. Having your right foot in front. If you find it to be stable, you need to have a little bit distance between your feet, that's fine. It's not necessary to have heel-to-heel alignment. We have a width of the hips and we would like to stay stable and maintain the hips square to the front. And then from here we hinge in, maintain a neutral spine till we're reaching the blocks. So if you find it to reach the block, and you're very tight in your hamstring and you round it, so you look like that, or you feel you look like that, so the tailbone under, very rounded back. You might want to have your hands above the knee here, so you forget about blocks. If you're able to come all the way to touch the block with the tip of the fingers, you spend a moment to align your hips. So I'm using the block. You don't need to bring your block to your lower back, but you want to maintain your pelvis here flat to the floor. And from here, we will try to distribute the weight toward the back heel to lift the arms from the block and take them on the both sides of the head. And feel how you pressing the tailbone back. A lot of a stretch of the hamstring, a lot of a work for the core to maintain the torso in this position, and holding for 3, 2, 1. Release the hands and then bring them to your thigh. Unfold from the hips with a neutral position, and we'll change the legs. Step your right foot back. Distance between feet is something that's sustainable for your hamstring flexibility. Again, setting the position for the legs the way that you feel stable, and what is more important, allows you to keep your hips facing front from the hip hinges folding. So, or reaching the floor. If it's not available, it's okay to be here with the torso 45-degree with the hands on the thighs. Maybe you need to work on the hamstring flexibility. That's going to improve with a regular practice. If you are touching the blocks, I will show here, you're taking a moment to make sure that your pelvis is square. And then when you're ready, using back leg for grounding and anchoring, you feel you can take your arms on both sides of the head, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the hands, lift the torso up, step to the front, exhale. Let's practice the triangle pose. So it's very similar to pyramid, but we are facing with the torso the long side of the mat. So you step in your feet probably the same distance. This time the back foot could be parallel, or I love to turn it slightly in to rotate my left hip in. And you have a block maybe inside the right foot. You're hinging from the hips to the side. So let us come halfway. So have your right hand on the hip crease, have your right hand on the right thigh, rotate your left shoulder back. So take a moment here, making sure that both sides of the torso are long. And then maybe you're able to go a little bit lower, maybe. And then let's extend the right arm and take the left arm up. And hold 4, so continue to anchor through the left heel. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the arms, and from the hip, unfold up. Here, we didn't use the block. We will not going to use the block, so let's go other side. Turn the right foot in, turn the left foot out. Allow the right hip to rotate slightly in, and let us come halfway maybe. So just have a left hand into hip crease on the left side. Maintain both sides equally lengthening, and then from here continue with the left arm and the right arm up. So like you're stretching your shoulders 2 directions, up and forward, and anchor through the right heel, holding 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your arms and unfold, exhale. So we're still going to keep the wide-legged position for a bit of a squatting here. So taking your toes out, and let us just bounce here a couple of times just to prep the hips and leg muscles to hold us. And then come to moderate a squat. Checking your knees. So your knees have to be aligned with your heels. So make sure that your knees are not going wider. And then let us check what's happening in the lower back. So tuck the tailbone under, squeeze the glutes, come as low as you can. Hold the arms in front. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come up. Let's rest a little bit. We will have a side bend in squat for the neck. So come into the squat, low, pretty low, and then from here bring the right hand to the right hip crease and take your left arm overhead. Make sure you're not collapsing to the right leg. You want to be in your lower body symmetrical. Asymmetry comes just in the torso. Keep your head going to the right shoulder. And let's release the arm. Come to the center and come up. Some burn in the inner thighs, that's all good. Come into the squat. Bring the left hand to the hip crease. Take the right arm up and go to the left. Drop the head to the left shoulder, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the arm, come to the center, come up, and let's turn the toes in. Bend the knees if you need from the hips. Just hinge forward into the fold. Exhale. You can feel some stretch in your hamstrings. You can move from side to side, from heel to heel a little bit. Just stretch. And then let's very slowly roll up into standing position. And then go toes, heels, and pick up one block. So like we were practicing the standing pose with the flex palms, we're going to be using that on just on the right side. So you flexing your palm and placing the block to your palm, and then press it up toward the ceiling. If you're going to be practice with a recording, you will not see my hand on the recording. It's not fitting the screen, but you understand what I'm doing here. And let us engage the right glute, stabilize the right hip, engage your right oblique, and let's lift the left knee and take the left arm to the side. Feel how your right side, the whole right side, is solid support, and it comes from this area. So again, your pop can is holding. You can do with your arms and legs whatever you want, but it's a solid pop can, and your solid right leg is holding you. Let's release. Shake your legs, and let's practice the other side. So first, let's activate the left side of the body. So flex the palm and press the block up. Engage the whole left side of the body, from the heel, quad, glute, oblique here, and then lift your right leg up and just take your right arm to the side and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's release. Let's still use the block and practice one more balance pose. So just remind yourself how we practice the pyramid pose, right? So it's like, if from a pyramid pose, we will be bringing the body weight forward and lifting the leg. We actually will start from pyramid pose, maybe a little bit shorter stance. You don't need to be as wide as you were in the pyramid. Square your hips to the front. You have your block on your lower back. So press the block to your lower back. Open your shoulders forward and start slightly bending the right knee. Bring the body weight to the right foot and then start lifting the left leg. Flex the left foot. Depend on your strength. You might drop the torso all the way down, lift the leg up, but you want to maintain your hips square, embracing your core. Maybe some of you can take your arms to the front, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the arms, reach to your block, and using the strength of the leg, lift your torso up without dropping the left leg. Only when you're up straight, you're stepping your left foot down. Let us go to the other side. So have a stance like you did the pyramid, having the block on your lower back. You don't have to bring your arms in front. You can have your hands on the block if this is enough for you. Start bringing the body weight to the left foot. and start lifting the right leg up. So your hips are square, your standing knee is soft, and you are simultaneously dropping the torso and lifting the leg. Your hamstring is working here. You can stay here. You can take your arms to the side or take your arms to the front. Holding 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your arms and try not to touch the floor till you come in standing position. So again, activating the left side and then stepping the right foot down. Okay, let us just shake those core standing balancing poses with a flow. Come to the front of the mat, come into their proud postural position, using all what we learned on the back of your body, of your core muscles to maintain this standing mountain pose. With inhale, lift your arms up. Hinging from the hips, exhale, folding all the way down to the floor. Maybe touching the floor for support, stepping the left foot back, making sure not all the weight is on the front leg, lifting the torso up. Again, holding really strong in your midsection, lifting the arms up. And let's today practice the variation with a flexed palms, like you're holding the ceiling. Feel your legs strong, feel that your core is helping you to support. On exhale, bring the hands to the floor, step into downward dog. Exhale, long spine. On inhale, flow into the plank. Use the glutes, push the floor. Again, think of just bringing hands and feet together. Squeeze the midsection, drop the knees and come all the way down. Exhale. Hands on the sides of the rib cage. Roll the shoulders back. Pointed toes. Lift the chest up. Neutral spine. And then let's tongue the toes. Exhale. Come into the downward dog. Let's hold in this downward dog for 3 more exhales. Using this inversion, arm balancing, to get the traction of the spine. Then keep your right foot coming to the mid line for support. Step your left foot forward. Lift your torso up, making sure you're not collapsing to the front leg, but using the back leg. Again, this is not extension for the lower back. This is a really strong corset here around the waist area, taking the arms up, flexing the palms. Holding 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the hands on the floor, step into downward dog. Exhale, long spine. Let's again hold that for 3 breaths. And then move into plank. Squeeze the glutes, push the floor. Then drop the knees down to the floor. Exhale, come down. Hands on the sides of the rib cage. Lift chest up, pointed toes, strong legs, strong back. And then let's press into child pose. This time, if you feel you would like to have the arms on the sides, shoulders relaxed, palms facing the ceiling. Welcome to be here. Exhale. And then let's lift the torso off and let's come into seated position with the wide leg. We're going to work a little bit on the hip flexor strength. But before we're going to come here, just check how your hips feels here with some external rotation. Let your toes fall out, and then think of the string that attached to the crown of the head that pulls you up toward the ceiling. So feel that you're not, so if you're very tight in your hamstrings, you might find that the hamstrings pull in your lower back and you round it here. So then it's a bit challenging with the lifting the arms. You should have support of your hands on the back. But if you're maintaining your shoulders above the hips, maybe lift your arms up and just stretch yourself here, flex your feet. A really active position, and see if you can come slightly forward. So if you are using your hands behind you, if you're here on slightly leaning, just use your hands to press the chest forward. If you're able to maintain the straight spine and come forward, you can just reach forward. Exhale here. And then let's all bring the hands behind the back, and we're gonna all slightly lean back. You can have your pointed or flex feet, it's up to you. Let's try to lift the left leg off the floor. And drop. And then let's lift the other leg from the floor. And drop. So shake it. So maybe your quads are cramping because instead of using the hip flexor muscles, the internal muscles, your quads are doing all the work. And if you were able to do that, let us do it without arms. Let's hug the shoulders. You might need to lean back a little bit and lift your right leg off the floor. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop, shake the legs, and then lean and lift the left. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drop. Let's bring the soles of the feet together and allow yourself to stretch your inner thighs, open the knees, stretch passively your lower back, stretch the neck, so all the tension that maybe accumulated through all those positions that we try to maintain torso in define a neutral position. You would like to release your spinal muscles here. Take in another breath. And then let us have the left ankle on the floor and bend your right knee. If you're finding that you're unstable and you're very rounded in your lower back, I would suggest to sit on the block. The block will allow you to get more length in the spine, and we'll practice a very gentle twist. So interlace the hands on the top of the right knee, bring the right hand behind, and let's twist to the right. I would invite you to close your eyes and rather relax than to use a lot of effort here. Focus on exhalation. And fold back to the center. Keep your torso tall. And let's go to the other side. Bring your right ankle to the floor. Reset your seat bones. Interlace the hands on the top of the left knee. Keep your spine tall. Then bring the left hand behind. Use the right hand just to direct your twist. Twist happening in the upper back. Don't overdo the twist with the chin. And relax here. And fold back to the center. Let's take the block away if you used one, and let us come more toward the back of your mat. And we're going to go lie down using our core muscles. So keep your feet hip distance. Your knees are close to 90 degrees. And let's bring your arms in front. Bring your chin to the chest and pull the belly in. Round your spine. And then start very slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, lowering your torso down to the floor. So first you feel your lower back touching. and then your shoulder blades, and then the head, and then take the arms overhead, extend your legs, and give a full body stretch. Exhale. And then let's bend the knees again, and bring your arms up toward the ceiling. And then think that you're pulling yourself, peeling yourself from the floor. Bring your chin to the chest. Then you might need a little bit of a push to lift yourself here, pulling the belly in, and slowly come up into the sitting. Okay, maybe using your arms today, but let's go back without arms, okay, without help. So keep your arms in front, chin to the chest, and start very slowly, so very rounded back, going one vertebra at a time. So here is the crunch position when you lower back down, your shoulder blades off the floor, then shoulder blades, then head, then arms, then you can stretch your legs. Exhale, and let's try to go one more time up. So bend your knees, lift your arms toward the ceiling, and just find that there's a lift with your arms, but engage your abdomen. So bring your chin toward the chest, and then just lift yourself here, using your core muscles, and come all the way up. And I want you to get into the straight spine position. Bring your toes together and lean back to the boat pose. When you're ready, lift your toes off the floor. So you're not rounded like we were before. Here you want to be in a neutral spine position, and maybe you're lifting your shins parallel to the floor, maybe releasing arms and holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's bring the feet down to the floor, round the spine, and one more time, very slowly. Bring yourself up to the floor, taking the arms overhead, extending the legs, giving a full body stretch, feeling stretch on the front and side of the body. And then let's go to Bananasana, moving your heels to the left and moving your head and shoulders to the left, maybe holding the right wrist with the left hand, maybe crossing the right ankle on the top of the left, and just resting here. We would like to create a passive stretch on the right side of the body. And then let's return back to the center, moving your heels to the right, moving your shoulders and arms to the right, crossing that left ankle on the top of the right, holding that left wrist, and stretching the left side. Taking another exhale, then returning back to the center, changing the arm position to the T, and bending the knees, maybe taking the feet on the edges of the mat, so a little bit wider than the hips, rearranging the lower back, and let's drop the knees. They separated to the left, and just have a very passive twist here. If you like to go a little bit further, you can slide the right leg toward the left knee and create a little bit more stretch, a little bit more twisty sensations on the right side of the body. You can adjust the right arm position to add more stretch on the front of the chest. So whatever feels right for you. There is really a lot of variation, depend on the mobility of your spine, your hips, your shoulders. And let's just allow the body to rest a little bit from a very intense practice today in terms of the building the core strength. Then we'll come back to the center, reset your torso on the center, dropping the knees to the right, maybe turning the head to the left, and then maybe some of you want to slide the right knee a little bit further, adjusting the left arm position. And then very slowly come back to the center, reset your hips. And again, if you like to use some support for the back of the head so your neck will feel neutral, more than welcome. Reset your pelvis and then extend your leg one at a time. Extend your arms one at a time. And let's have a couple of exhales to relax the midsection of the body. So really allow your belly to be soft and fall toward the spine. Feel the body weight here. You're welcome to keep your eyes gently closed and allow yourself a couple of moments of a silent, mindful relaxation, mindful stillness that's sometimes not coming easy to us. Try to control your mind from going away from the practice. Yet, stay focused on the moment. Stay focused on sensations. Gentle moves will return through fingers and toes, circles in the wrists and ankles. Bend your knees, bringing the knees to the chest, rocking from side to side. And finding the way to drop your knees to one side and come into the seated position. You're welcome to be in a cross-legged position. Bring the hands in front of the heart. Take a moment to admit the end of the practice and thank yourself for having time and energy to step on the mat. Take the positive strength and the energy that were generated through the movement, through the breathing, through the mindful practice to be a guide for the rest of the day. Namaste.